This is the Stubborn German Podcast, coming to you from the always festive Stubborn German Brewing Company.
Stubborn
Druman.
I like it. It's a new spin. We might use that.
Druman Brewing Company.
The Stubborn Druman Beering Company. I'm going to see if that website's taken.
In Waterley, Illinois.
And this is episode 2
We're on our
of the
second
night.
episode.
Yeah, obviously.
In case you haven't noticed, this would be the second of 2 episodes of the Stubborn German Brewing Company podcast that we've recorded in a row. And usually the second one is a little marinated over the first one, so because we would be hypocritical if we didn't practice what we preached.
That's correct.
I'm
That's
Kevin
correct.
Oosty, joined by the proprietor of whatever this place I called it, Mr. Chris Ron.
Hi, Kevin.
How are you?
I'm amazing.
Yeah, now you are.
Yeah.
And our esteemed producer, Mr. Jared Chasson.
Good evening.
And we're joined once again by our current record-holding sit-in special guest, Mr. Rick Kleinschmidt. Rick.
I feel fortunate I made it through episode 1 and I'm allowed to come back.
Well, you know, you had such great ideas, and you're such a fun guy to hang out with. We said, why not? Right?
Why not?
Why not?
I agree.
This will be the fun one anyway.
Yes.
For sure. There's tasting involved.
Yes. So the way we start every one of these episodes is with a fun, enlightening, and fulfilling and gratifying experience
Gratifying.
that we like to call the German word of the day.
Yes, so fun. Here we go. The German word of the day is Grontler.
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 Grontler. Not
Rick, I don't know if you know this, but we do like to be polite on this podcast and
you heard that
let our
before?
guests go
Yes.
first.
I've heard that before, but I got razzed a lot for not knowing what was on the website last episode.
Don't worry, we would never razz you twice.
Oh, I had it
The
coming.
website's been updated since then anyway. So.
This is our former employee, Rick.
Yes.
Rick works at the wine bar now.
at the time of this airing.
Oh, I'm afraid that might be true.
What do you think a Grontler is?
Can I get the pronunciation one more time?
Grontler.
A Grontler is a... Ooh, I'm Grontler. I'm thinking antler for some reason in my head. Deer stand.
Deer stand.
Okay,
Ooh, a
interesting. I think I let you go last time, Kevin, so
I did.
you can go,
So you go
next.
So you go this time.
Oh, okay. Grontler. I'm with you. First thing I thought was antler. Grontler. I'm going to say, oh man, I'm trying to think of the theme of this episode. How
We all
about
are, Jared? We all are.
grain-filled?
Grain-filled.
Grain-filled. Full of grain.
My other thought was Gronk, but I'm like, I don't
Gronk.
think it has anything to do
Yes,
with
no,
former
it
NFL
doesn't.
players.
No.
All right.
I can tell you it does not.
I'm going to say it is a small vessel to drink from.
Small vessel to drink from. Well,
I'll take
Kevin?
one pour of Yellowstone in my Grontler.
See how that works?
Das Grontler, please.
okay.
It's a good guess.
The guesses have been tabulated, and I will reveal the correct answer at the end of this podcast.
Oh, good.
Yes.
It's always so rewarding when we
is.
find out how bad our guesses were.
All right.
Especially on the second episode when there's 2 recorded at a time.
Yes.
So the fun thing is, as I scan our podcast studio here, which is live in the Stubborn German Brewing Company brewery section, there are some bottles on the table.
There sure
Ooh,
are.
boy.
Ooh, boy.
That's right.
Yeah, well, if
Excitement
if
is
you'll
in the
allow
air.
me to explain, we've kind of we do barrel picks here. So if you don't know what a barrel pick is, basically a distillery wants to sell the entire barrel of bourbon to one person or one liquor store, or one bar or whatever. So we buy them. We've done over 30 of them now in our existence, and we do them because they're a lot of fun. Like they're kind of a lot of work, paperwork wise, and to just organize all that. And they don't make you a whole lot of money, but they're just fun. And I feel like if we're going to have a serious bourbon kind of program, that's just part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
to do a barrel pick, it's first of all, it's so much fun to go to the distillery, and they treat you like royalty. Like you're one of the top 1 or 2 spenders of the day, so they're very happy to see you there.
For sure.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as just the consumer end of it, I think there's no better way to get your hands on a really unique bottle than to buy a store's barrel pick. It's a single barrel. Just almost all the time that you do this, it's going to be a single barrel situation. So that means, all of the liquid that's in your bottle came out of just one barrel, and the barrel is what changes the flavors so much in bourbon. So you're getting something that is going to have flavors that no other barrel in the rickhouse is going to be exactly the same on. They may be close here and there, but
You
really,
the only one.
it's the unicorn. It's the
I
only
think
one.
that's something that a lot of people probably don't realize. When you go
Yeah.
to the store and you buy a name brand bourbon or whiskey or whatever, they go out of their way to great lengths to make sure that it's consistent, where every bottle will taste very similar
The
when you're
same as the
getting
next.
a
Yep.
a small batch or whatever.
Right.
And so you just figure, well, I know what Maker's Mark tastes like,
Right.
or I know what Jim Beam tastes like,
Exactly.
or whatever.
Yep.
But you don't know what that single barrel from Rickhouse B or whatever
I know.
is going to taste like.
And
Even
I'm-
if you went there last year and got the same thing, it's
I'm
going
on,
to be
yeah,
different.
exactly. I'm on a quest. It's my life's mission to taste something out of every single barrel in the United States.
He's almost there. folks.
You might know the name, but you won't know the taste.
I'm like a
Yeah.
tenth of 1% of the way done. So I'm
That's
gonna get
impressive,
there.
actually.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of barrels
There
around
are
here.
a lot of barrels.
So then you end up purchasing that barrel, and then
Yeah, you sign up for it. They put it in a bottle, and then eventually they
put it
send
in a
you
bunch of bottles.
Lots of bottles. Yeah, not just one giant bottle.
Put it in a
Be
bottle.
fun.
I want that bottle.
I'll have that bottle. And then, they send all the cases to you, and then we sell them. We sell them first to the members of our Brown Water Society, the Bourbon Club. It's basically an email list, and they get first dibs on all these, and there's no fee to join or anything. You just give us your email address, and we let you know, here's what we have. Those are our most loyal bourbon customers, and it works out. It's a good relationship for both people because, I like to pick these, and we take friends, and we take just members of the Brown Water Society to Kentucky to do these barrel picks. But at the end of the day, we got to sell them, or we can't keep doing it. So selling them is very important. So that kind of gives us a nice outlet on how to get rid of these bottles when they show up. And so we just happen to. So normally, if I had my choice, we would have these barrel picks show up maybe, say, 6 or 8 weeks apart from each other, and you'd have about 6 or 8 weeks to sell them out and then start the next one. Well, we're kind of in a backlog right now. Between now and the end of the year, we've got 3 in-house right now, and I've got 2 more showing up before the end of the year. So we're going to have 5 between kind of like right now and end of year. So we have lots of good, unique things to put in your Grontler
That's right.
here before Christmas time. So
Okay. Are we going to sample or talk about any of those specific ones tonight, Chris?
No, we're
Actually,
just going to look at it.
Jared,
wondering.
we sure are going to.
Okay,
Would you
good.
like to?
Sure.
Okay. So I will. You can pass them down, but this will be your Grontler for the podcast. We're going to get a lot of use
Thank
out of
you,
that
sir.
word.
Yeah. Loving
And
it.
when we're all done with this one, we'll just pour the next one. So this one happens to be our Yellowstone barrel pick. So this is
this smells
actually
good.
the 3rd barrel of Yellowstone that we've picked. And it happens to be our 30th ever barrel
Oh,
pick.
right.
So it says Stubborn German 30 on it.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
A good round number.
Yeah, exactly. It's 5 years old.
Came out of a good round barrel.
It sure did. And it's 115 proof. So it's high
Yep.
proof.
This smells good.
It does.
So when I
Trying
was...
not to smell my microphone like I sometimes do.
You will at the end of the episode
Yep.
for sure.
Will
Right?
you be speaking into your Grontler?
I just did that.
Damn, blam it.
This has what I would call classic,
Yeah.
a classic nose. A lot of those classic smells and flavors.
When I was writing the tasting notes on this, one thing got just kind of stuck in my mind, and I get it now every time I drink it, but like cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper, these newer soda machines,
Right.
you can make any soda.
Right.
You can add vanilla or cherry
Yeah,
or
yeah.
raspberry, whatever the heck you want. But so if you do vanilla, I like Dr. Pepper, so vanilla cherry vanilla, whatever, Dr. Pepper. that's kind of the nose I get on it.
Yeah, you do get a lot of that. I had an interesting experience when I sipped this. It was a little bit warmer on the perimeter.
On the perimeter?
Yeah, I get more burn from the alcohol burn from this than I have our previous Yellowstone barrels.
Yeah.
But the middle of my tongue didn't get it. It
No.
was like all
Just on the outside, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's not
And
on-
also, this is if you haven't been drinking neat bourbon all day like I have,
All day.
you kind of have to have an acclimation period. So
Yeah.
the first drink or two is going to be a little iffy, and then you'll get into like, okay, now I can kind of taste something. So yeah, it's not uncommon to get full on burn for the first sip or two or three.
just put a
Well, I
little.
got flavor too, but I did get that.
yeah.
I put a little ice in mine, which is what I normally like, and that really brings it out the
Oh, you got
sweetness
ice?
of vanilla. Yeah, I got a whole cup right here, man.
Look at you.
Help yourself.
No, that's okay. I'm a man.
Wow, you tell a guy one time that he's not
know.
here, and boy, it was an accident. I didn't even mean it like that.
That was a joke, Rick.
So, can you
No, I
describe
had
a
it coming.
little bit of
I might as well be
Of,
drinking water at dinner.
the barrel picking process
Yes.
at Yellowstone?
That is
or at Limestone Ranch?
Yeah, so Yellowstone is made at Limestone Ranch in Lebanon, Kentucky. So we went down there just to do a barrel pick there, and their barrel pick procedure is pretty unique. So you're still getting to choose from 3 barrels. They're all 3 a little different. They all have different flavor profiles. They intentionally do that. They don't want them all to kind of line up and be the same. But what you get to do is you drink all 3 of those at 3 different proofs. So it's actually like 9 tastes,
Oh, okay,
9
right.
samples. I believe the proofs were 102, then 109, then 115, I believe. And that's their standard proofs that they always offer. And basically, you go through and you find your favorite one at the lowest proof. Then you find your favorite one at the middle proof, then at the highest proof. And then at the end of that, you kind of like, you circle your favorite of those, your favorite 3, and kind of then you vote between everybody.
Do they tell you, is it, I mean, I'm assuming there's some kind of reasoning behind going lowest to highest instead of highest to lowest. Do they tell you why?
Yeah,
or?
just to not burn your palate off and
Right away?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So if you
palate
picked,
off.
Burn your palate
will
off.
they proof it down for you if you pick the 102 or whatever? Like if that's
they'll-
what you ultimately
they'll put
want
it
to
at- Yeah,
bottle?
this was proof down. This is not barrel proof.
Okay. Right.
It would have been higher in the barrel.
Okay.
So a little bit of water versus like a lot of water if
Yeah.
it was 102.
Right.
And more more bottles. If you
Right.
pick it at lower proof, that just means they added more water to it. So now you're paying the same
Right.
price for a bigger portion of water in your bottle. So why? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm kind of like, if you want to add water, go for it. But
Right.
I'm not going to tell you how much to add to your bourbon.
Figure it out home.
Figure it out yourself. That's part of the fun. Like,
Yeah,
I went through half a bottle figuring out that I like this much water, and then you forgot how much you like, and you got to do it again the next day.
Sounds like a fun weekend.
Yeah, darn the luck.
You don't
This
do
is-
that? Am I the only one that does that?
This is very good. So I will say,
I like,
when we visited Limestone Branch on our,
Yeah.
that's not where when I went with you, we didn't do a pick there, but
Right.
we did go there.
We went there.
I didn't love I'll just say their regular bourbons. I mean, it was good. It just didn't stand out to me. They did have a couple, was it like staff picks or something that they had then?
Yeah, they did some. So yeah, if you're a member of the team there, you get to pick your own, like that label of
Okay.
a single barrel.
Yeah.
And that's what they sell there in the gift shop.
Right.
So yeah, they're going to be
Those were
unique
good.
and crazy
And this
too.
is
yeah.
very good. Noticeably better than what I had there.
Yeah.
Good job
Awesome.
on the pick.
Hey,
Yeah, this is
thank
really
you.
cool.
Picked it myself.
I didn't, it wasn't up my alley the first sip, but after I proofed this one down a little bit for
Yeah.
my
Mhm.
apparently sensitive palate, it's really good. I get a lot more of that more vanilla-y and, and sweetness. I like that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. If I was going to sit down with a full glass of this, at 115 it does come off just a tad hot for me. So I usually add an ice cube or just a dash of water.
Yeah, that's real good.
And it gets it down closer to the 100 proof mark where you can actually taste something. And
Are there bottles of this left?
There are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coincidentally,
There are. As a matter of fact, Rick, there sure are.
Is there one with my name on it?
It's right over there in one of those boxes.
So I
is your name
bought
Yellowstone?
I bought a bottle of this for a coworker of mine, and he was very appreciative and said it's one of the best bottles he's had. So
I love these
Good
picks.
job.
If I'm out at, I don't go bourbon shopping very
Yeah.
often, but if I see them out or if I know someone's at a liquor store and they have a Yellowstone pick, generally they're pretty freaking good, and I usually am like, all right, I'll take one of those.
Is this a pricey bourbon?
Oh gosh, what is it? $60?
I think this one was around 60. So I mean,
Not terrible.
no,
it's good.
that's actually a pretty good price for
Yeah,
a good bourbon.
for sure,
115
yeah.
proof,
Yeah, high proof,
this flavor
and-
for
yeah.
It's a lot of
for
Now,
$60. That's
if you
good.
want me to cut this out, I will. But Tammy's currently got it on sale here at the bar. So
Ooh, doggy. How much does it say?
that's like $5 off, 55, I think.
boy,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
here
right,
on
it's
the right
It's a
night.
heck of a price.
Yes, you
It
are.
is. Yeah.
And honestly, we all know this. Bourbon keeps going up in price. And what
Yeah, it's not going
$50
up.
used to be a really expensive bottle, and now it's kind of like
I
in the middle.
don't know. I feel like that's pretty standard.
Yeah. So that's a good heck of a deal for a barrel pick.
For something
Yeah.
with a lot of flavor that's not just
High
off the
proof,
shelf.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
$100 is the new $50. Right?
that's what I heard.
Yep. So yeah, that's Yellowstone.
That's good.
Very good.
Yeah, that's very good. My favorite Yellowstone pick we did was the one they called the fruitcake barrel. That was really good. It had a lot of cherry to it.
Yeah.
This one's more vanilla-y, which is very good.
They're all three different. All three of our Yellowstone picks have been different.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the third one? Do you remember?
This is the third one.
Oh, I mean, the other
This is
of the two.
first.
He mentioned the fruity pebbles, and we got the
The first one was might have been like our third ever barrel pick. So no, Kevin, I
it was
don't
a while
remember.
ago. Yeah,
No, I think I remember
that
that one.
27 barrels ago.
That was a lot more like balanced, real classic. Right after that, I started to kind of shift what I like to pick for barrels. At first, it was just like, give me like bourbon, like I want the classic bourbon.
Well, something that
flavors.
you're guaranteed people are going to really like
Yeah.
universally, so that it.
Because we didn't really know what we were getting into. But
Yeah.
then, shortly after that, it's like, all right, I like bold. I mean, pick what I want to drink. Don't pick something for someone else that may not be there. At the end of the day, if it doesn't sell, I have to drink it. So I might as well get
man.
something.
Might as well
Right.
like it.
Exactly.
You definitely should like it then.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, along those lines, this does have, like I said, those classic flavors and smells, but it is bold, like you said. This is a
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
vibrant bourbon. So good
Thank
job.
goodness it's on sale.
Yes.
Amen. Okay, ready for the next?
Don't mind if I
about.
do.
Yeah.
I'll just
Do you
pass
need
the
our
bottle
glass
down.
back? Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
you're a grown man. You can do it yourself. Here, not too much now. We got two more after this, so
Just two more.
Two more after this.
it's not the two more.
So this is another one, well, close to 115, but 116.9
Yeah,
proof.
these are all going to be high proof. So, so this one is our Starlight bourbon barrel pick, and
Okay.
Starlight. A lot to talk about with Starlight, but Starlight. Starlight is a distillery in Borden, Indiana, which is just right across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. So we've been making that our first stop on our way into town, and we do like the Rick House tour there, where they basically let you go through the Rick House and you taste whatever the heck you want. It's a pretty amazing tour. It's like $60 for that tour, but I highly recommend that. So.
Is there a better place on a distillery grounds than a Rick House?
There's not.
First of all, it's named amazingly.
Nice. Okay.
So funny. So anyway, Starlight. Anyway, Rick, with your house.
It's a Rick.
I'll give you a second for it. Go ahead. So before you start judging here, I'll tell you what you're drinking.
I like the nose.
This is a 5.5-year-old bourbon. It's almost 117 proof, and this is mature bourbon that they dumped out of that barrel, created a small batch, into like a stainless tank, and from there they decided that batch would taste really good in these rum barrels that they just got. So these barrels used to hold Bermuda rum. And our particular barrel was held 10-year-old rum there, and before that it was a bourbon barrel, and it was the second barrel in a Woodford double oak. Got all that?
Wow.
Starts as Woodford Reserve double oak, the second barrel,
Became rum.
which is a more toasted
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
charred barrel. Then when Woodford was done with it, it went to Bermuda, held rum for 10 years. And then Starlight got a hold of it. So think of
Wow.
all that, and
Yeah.
then drink this.
So they're the third. They're the third one in line
yes.
Do we know how long secondary aging usually lasts? It's just a couple months or 6 months? Or
They said it's typically around a year, give or
year?
take.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty long.
And so when they say 5.5 years, it was 4.5 in the
Right.
first barrel, and then
Okay.
about a year in this barrel. So what you get with a rum barrel finish is usually just a lot of really layered sweetness, like molasses, dark brown sugar, that kind of
That's the
stuff.
molasses. That's what I'm tasting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you totally get that.
yeah. It's really good stuff.
I couldn't put a name to it.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of hot, but
But it
Same
doesn't,
way.
honestly,
Toss a cube
that
in it.
117, I mean, it's not much
It
more, but
doesn't-
it doesn't seem as hot
No.
as that Yellowstone
No,
115.
I agree. The Yellowstone, you felt the heat more.
Maybe that was because it was
Maybe
the
it's
first
the
one.
second one. Yeah, it could be.
you know what we ought to do at the end of this podcast? Let's go back to the Yellowstone
Yes.
and see if we really think it's hot anymore.
Solid plan.
Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, anyway, Starlight, what they're kind of known for is their secondary barrels. They do make standard bourbon and rye whiskey, not finished in another barrel, just like regular old bourbon. But what they're really, really known for, and they're really kind of developing a big cult following for, is their finished barrels. So again, like this rum barrel,
Yeah.
they do. Their most popular is a Amberana, which is like a cigar. They call it a cigar batch, cigar blend, and basically it tastes and smells like walking into a humidor at a good cigar shop,
Which is
Like
almost as good as a Rick
cinnamon,
Rice.
vanilla, nutmeg, almost. Rick.
Almost.
It's a humid. I don't know
Yeah.
anyone named Humidor though.
No, I was being sincere on that one.
Yeah.
I have one bottle of Starlight on the shelf at home, and it was finished in some sort of apple.
Oh yeah, apple brandy.
Yeah, yeah, it's very good. I like it.
So they're Starlight is a they're on the grounds of Huber Orchard. So the Hubers are the family that owns this place, and they also own this
That's
orchard.
Carl, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carl T.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That says right in the label.
name's right there.
It's like, wow, he did his research.
Is that Carl? Yeah, I was like, no way you know him. But I know Ted, who's the current owner or president or whatever. He has been there on every single
Doesn't
one of
sound
our
like
tours.
you know him very well.
Oh, really?
The owner or whatever.
Or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Usually by then I've sampled a little bit.
He
I
knows
don't really
Ted, he
know-
doesn't know who he is.
I don't know
He
what
said.
His
he's
name's
called,
Ted.
okay?
So what is it
You know
that
what you got to
do
ask
here,
is
Ted?
what is it you do here? He's the
Ted,
owner.
Ted, what is it that you do?
Right. What do you do here?
No, I did not ask Ted that.
Again,
yeah.
if I add a little water to this, it brings out more of the sugary stuff,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is what I tend to like. Apparently, what I tend to like.
Yep.
For sure.
Now, is Starlight bigger operation, smaller operation? How do they compare to some of the other?
I would say they're on the small side. Not. I mean,
'Cause I felt
think
like what I saw of Limestone Branch was small.
Yeah,
Are
that's-
they like that?
that's really small. Yeah, I'd say
Okay.
similar,
Okay.
something like that. If I had to guess, they're expanding. Everyone's expanding. So they've got a new still that is going in very soon. Yeah. But yeah, their tours are great. Like I said, I love that as a first stop on the way to the Bourbon Trail, because you know from like the Waterloo area, you're in a car for about 4 hours, and by then like you're ready to get out and do something fun. So it's like the first opportunity to go do a distillery tour or something, and you're there.
You're ready, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, again, they're like a kind of like Eckert's Orchard around here, where they do like the you pick apples
Yeah.
and blackberries and strawberries and pumpkins are huge there. Not the pumpkins
Big,
themselves,
big pumpkins.
but people around there
And I was gonna say,
love
can I-
pumpkins.
Huge
Can I
people
climb
around
on these pumpkins? If they're that
abnormally
huge.
large.
They're that huge, yeah.
The pumpkins are huge. Well, not the pumpkins, but the people around them.
The
So
people,
the huge people
The
around
huge
small pumpkins.
people with
So then maybe the pumpkins are huge, but
Yeah, the
people
people are
huger.
small.
It's all
Maybe that's what it
relative.
is.
Yeah.
The people are small. They're regular-sized pumpkins.
okay, I quit.
Anyway,
This is what happens, friends.
Right,
Episode
Sure
2.
is. We're only tasting number 2 of 4.
Oh,
I know. We need to move this along because we'll be here next week continuing this.
Especially if we have to taste the Yellowstone again.
Yeah, right. So,
Okay, let's do
are we
the next
looking at another Starlight next?
Let's pour.
Yeah.
That is the rye whiskey. So we did a bourbon and a rye. Okay, when we got there to do the barrel pick, I thought this was like any barrel pick. You just go in, you find your favorite one, and they send it to you. Well, they said, well, actually, we only do half barrels, so you'll be splitting this with another liquor store somewhere in the United States. And I was like, wow. Like, well, can I do 2 halves? Because I kind of have plans for a whole barrel, you know.
For sure. Did you find out who gets the other one?
I did, actually, because they were already picked by someone else.
Is it like a sister city?
Oh, there you go.
No, one's in, like, New York somewhere, a liquor store. And one was in Kentucky. I don't know who it was.
A sister liquor store?
A sister liquor store. It's the Stubborn Swede or something. Yeah, I don't know.
You might have to edit this.
The Stubborn Swede.
But the idea of the sister liquor is just...
He said you might have to edit it, and then went with it anyway.
Well, I warned him. He's marking time code right now.
Better mark that time.
As soon as you said you might have to edit this, I thought I got to hear it.
What store sells that?
The Stubborn Slovakia. Slovenia, whatever.
I'll get there. Hold on, I'm pouring.
So this is a rye.
Yes, thank you, Jared.
It went awry already.
And, yes.
Okay, this is a VDN barrel. Oh, excuse me.
Wow.
Now, is that a follow-up to the sister liquor?
Yes.
Store.
Yes,
Just
I'm
liquor
sorry.
store.
Okay, the VDN stands for Vino de Naranja, which is a Spanish orange liqueur. So they use macerated orange peel in the barrel with the liqueur. Like
Pulverized?
chopped and yeah, not whole oranges, something different than that. And so you taste this, and you get rye whiskey and
That smells
orange,
really good, too.
which is kind of like an old fashioned, like ready to go.
Right.
Does anybody sell air fresheners like this for...
If you spill half your bottle in the backseat of your car, like I did my buddies,
Yeah, right
you
on.
will have an air freshener. Like
Is that why my car smells funny?
How do I go to work smelling
Or I
like
should say
bourbon?
fantastic?
Yeah.
I don't want to smell like it, but if there was something hanging from the rearview mirror that smelled
Right.
like this, I would be pretty satisfied.
So this is a 4-year-old, 118 proof, and to me, this is the standout. This is the star of the Starlights.
Ba-dum-bum.
Second show, folks.
You guys don't even laugh anymore.
It is good.
It is good.
It's got
It's got some heat.
it does have some heat. Did you say the proof? What was the
118.
proof? Oh, okay.
We're upping it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so we start
We're up
out,
in it.
what,
Yeah.
115, 116.9?
You can tell this is 118.
Now
The
we're a full
117 was
118.
subtle. This is, you can tell.
Yes.
The smell is lighter.
I was just going to say, I'm not getting as much of the aging flavors as I did on the other.
So I get yeah, you're right. It's not as strong as the rum on the rum cast,
Right.
but you can definitely get some orange in it, though.
Oh, it's funny because I guess what I was trying to say is it smells like a lighter proof than it is.
Oh, I
okay.
gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
The citrusy smell makes
Something's
it seem a
throwing
little
off,
lower.
yeah.
Yeah, I love this one. So when we went to do the barrel pick, it was kind of cool. We showed up. We started talking to Andrew Jordanic, who's the barrel director there, and he kind of comes up and was like, "Okay, you guys want to go right to the rick house and start tasting, or do you want to get in the Kubotas and take a tour of the farm? We'll show you where we grow our corn that we use in the bourbons, and you can pick some blackberries and have a little breakfast." I was like, "Let's get in them Kubotas."
Yeah,
Yeah, let's get in the
I was like,
Kubotas and check
come
out
on. So-
the Gestalks.
oh, man.
the Gestalt.
Was that this show? No, that was last.
was the
one.
That's the one where they grow the mellow corn.
That's right. The mellow
Stalks.
Gestalks
Oh, Gestalks. My bad.
or something.
All right, so you get in the Kubotas.
So yeah, we got in the Kubotas. We got to see the corn. We got to see the blackberries. Drove around, saw some lakes, saw some cool stuff, and then it ended right at the rick house. And they said, "Pick your barrel."
Have at it.
And which is literally that barrel pick. Most barrel picks are more structured, kind of like this Yellowstone, where it's like, "This is what we have for you today." That is like, this is a rick house. Unless it has a tape, or basically 2 pieces of tape, which means that 2 stores have already picked it. If it has 1 or none, you can have it.
Go to town.
Help yourself. And
So do you just
Here's a
randomly...
so we didn't, but Andrew
Yeah.
would go. If we would say, "Hey, I'm interested in that one," or "This one sounds cool, let's try that."
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you keep tasting until you find something you like, which is a pretty awesome way to pick a barrel.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
Problem
like that.
though is that eventually you're like, okay, you start thinking like, I could do this all day.
Yeah.
But eventually I have to like come home with like something good that people are going to like. So
Right.
you start to kind of dial it in a little, and yeah, it's like
You
someone
keep a notebook.
That one I didn't actually. I had a couple notes on my phone of just some real random, like number 2 was awesome, or I think there was an apricot finish one that was really cool.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it was great. That was my third pick, but then when we tasted this VDN, I was like, yeah, here we go.
You know, it's interesting. I'm not a fan of apricot at all, but it would be good in a bourbon.
Yeah.
You would have liked the one. I mean, it was
Yeah,
really good.
we found the appropriate use of apricots. Yeah.
I added just a little bit of water to this one, and it really brings and mellows out the orange flavor, real smooth,
and it
almost like a cream soda.
You can taste it now.
Yeah,
It's like it's hiding behind all that alcohol. It's there.
Yeah, it's there. Brings it out with the water. I like that.
Yep. So as of our recording, we have a handful. Like we have 2 or 3 more bottles of the bourbon left, but the rye we've got, I think, 12. There was more bottles of the rye that showed up than the bourbon. So we've got like 12, maybe 15 left of the rye. I would doubt that we would have any left by the time this
We're
airs.
done with the show tonight?
Yes, exactly. Because I'm going to go buy the rest.
And so are those $5 off too, Jared?
I don't think so.
Oh, they are not. these were super
That's
limited.
honestly the
and,
first time I've ever seen a bottle marked down like that. I was kind of surprised.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first 2 times we did Yellowstone, our Yellowstone people were here that day, and we were like,
and
holy
it's
cow.
really good. I don't know how.
That's a good bottle.
They just didn't show up on this one. It was kind
Well,
of
it's
weird.
like Crazy Gideon's appliances. You know, we've ordered too much.
Yeah,
It's got to
exactly.
go.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That is
not
good.
sure what to think about the Yellowstone market, but I'm all in on the Starlight for sure. So this was the first time we've ever picked a barrel of something finished, if we don't count Maker's Mark, because the Maker's Mark, you pick your you get a full barrel
Staves
of
that they
the
put in there.
Yeah, which. Yeah, that's I guess you could call that finished, so you can make an argument that would be the first one.
Yeah.
But really, this would be the first one that is like it's aged in a barrel that held a different liquor.
That's
Right.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
The Staves is not. It's not gimmicky.
It's still bourbony flavor,
Right.
Where this is like,
not the
it's
same.
going to taste like oranges now. Or,
correct.
oh,
Yeah, this had
Yeah.
orange liqueur in it.
right.
And
Yeah,
I don't know,
that was
pretty
good.
cool.
all very good.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've got one more.
The non-labeled bottle.
Okay, well,
It's got a label on it.
First, we have another one that'll come in, I think, before this, and it's Elijah Craig barrel proof. We did another one of those.
Oh,
so
I
we
didn't-
have an awesome relationship with our Heaven Hill sales guy, Bill. And basically, when we're ready for an Elijah barrel, he gets us on the calendar, and we go down and pick one. So we've done quite a few. I think 5 maybe by now, 6. I
Wow.
don't even know.
Yeah, those are good.
They're all good. They're all unique. They're all barrel proof now. And the one we picked should be in soon, and that's no different. It's amazing. It's
that tends
another
to
really
be
good one.
a good seller, right?
Does
Everybody
anything
loves the
go
Elijah Craig.
faster than your
Yeah,
Elijah Craig
right.
picks?
Not really. I mean, like the 1792
I was going to
did,
say that one went fast.
but just because we hyped it up so much,
Yeah.
and
That's
Yeah.
a great bottle, though.
the Elijah goes very, very fast. Starlight is going very fast. I mean,
Cool.
But I'm thinking this next one will go pretty fast as well. And it is, it's called Dark Arts, and it's a brand new bourbon brand from our friend Macaulay, who
Oh, the
Used to work.
Wilderness Trail guy.
used to work at Wilderness Trail. He no longer works there.
Jared, what do you think he does at Dark Arts?
Apparently, a little bit of everything.
He holds cats and
Yes.
He holds cats.
Yeah, so okay, if you don't know Macaulay, here's a little Macaulay info. Macaulay is like the friendly, like little hippie guy that's just like everybody's buddy, and he always has good bourbon around him, and so he's everyone's friend, of
course,
obviously,
yeah.
as he should be. He bought a cat that's hairless,
Yes.
and
Interesting.
it was there for our barrel pick, and it was the cat's first barrel pick.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
What did the cat do
that how
in
it
the
lost-
barrel pick? Did he help out?
Tasted
or?
all the bourbon. Yeah, I mean,
That's how he has no hair.
thank you. I was wondering where I was going to go with that. Now I know.
Yeah, I'm here for you, man.
I love
Macaulay was a very unique
Yes, he's
person.
eccentric.
I almost
He's
called him a cat. He's a unique cat.
no, his cat's a cat.
He is eccentric, but also very approachable. He's very
Absolutely.
cool and friendly.
Absolutely,
He can.
He's
He seems
anybody's
like
friend.
he can talk about anything. He's got a crazy background of his education and all
Yep.
this stuff. You think of him as almost like borderline homeless person. I mean, he kind of
Yeah.
gives off that vibe, but then he's got a PhD or something in whatever. Yeah, I mean
he's very well educated from
and he's done
University
everything.
of Kentucky, and
And apparently now he started his own brand.
and he's been kind of sort of working on this for a little while, on the back burner.
So that's what this is.
Yeah. So Campari bought out Wilderness Trail, and they're very, obviously a big structured company that came in to take over his distillery that he was at, and I think he was just not going to mesh with those people and those guidelines very well. So he started working harder on his dark arts that he was doing, and finally got some things rolling there. But what we picked, dark arts is going to be it's going to be in Lexington, Kentucky. It's not even open yet. It will be soon. I think by the end of the year is what they're hoping. And it's called Dark Arts Whiskey House. They'll have some music. They'll have a food situation. It'll be a whole thing in Lexington. But the whiskey, he's got a few different sources. Obviously, you can't just start on day one,
right?
Distilling and then selling.
Well, you could, but it wouldn't. It would be
very darn
gin.
good. Yeah. So this is actually a 7-year MGP rye 95.5 recipe, and he has a few. It's not all MGP. He has a few different sources for bourbons and ryes.
And MGP being
MGP is just one of them from actually Lawrenceburg, Indiana, one of the big contract distilleries that produce a lot of whiskey. So anyway, this one, so what he's going to do is a lot of finishing as well. So same way as our two Starlights, finished in a different barrel. Well, this one was aged in an Amburana barrel, so that cigar batch.
I'm intrigued.
Yes. Get you some of that.
He's been talking about it and not pouring it for quite a while now.
I noticed that.
Kevin's been eyeing it up, and I'm like, no, you will listen first.
This is how you pay attention.
That's right. You hold the whiskey. So, give this thing a sniff. Amburana is kind of the latest craze or biggest trend in bourbon, I would say, right now.
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
Amburana wood is from Brazil, and it's like an oak from Brazil that they're making barrels out of. And these barrels are insanely...
That smells so good, too.
They're really hard to get, and they basically make... They call Amburana batches like a cigar blend or cigar batch.
I get the tobacco-y
because
smell for sure.
I also get some vanilla out of that, though.
Yeah,
I get like vanilla tobacco.
It smells
both sides of it. You
There's
get
almost a minty to it.
Smells exquisite.
I was talking into my Glencairn again.
Exquisite.
Smelling my microphone, talking into my whiskey.
I just did the same thing.
We're at that
It's
point,
easy to do.
But no, Amburana is just like walking into a good humidor, like a good cigar shop. It's all those smells of tobacco and nutmeg and cinnamon and all that.
That smell is so much bigger than this little glass.
Right?
Okay, so I just took my first sip. The smell I got like the tobacco-y sort of smell to it, and on the tongue. Yes. Oh my gosh, and it tastes just. Well, if you take a nice big whiff of a good cigar, it tastes just like that.
That is
delicious.
So distinct.
It's like Christmas in a glass.
That is so different from what you would just expect to get out of a bourbon bottle.
Yeah.
And now on the back end,
it's pretty life-changing.
Wow.
Right?
getting like a mint, not a minty, but somebody said cinnamon, right? Like a cinnamon on the back of the tongue.
Sweet spice of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
holy crap, that's
listened.
Excellent.
Yeah. This is something
it's like a chai almost.
I feel like people are going to buy
Chai, yes, Kevin.
Chai. Oh. I feel like people are going to buy a bottle and then taste it and be like, I need more bottles, and come right back and get more. I mean, it's one of those like special occasion type bottles,
for sure,
in my opinion.
Now,
is
I think it was Tammy
excellent.
that shared the podcast that Macaulay was on. It was a different.
Oh yeah, a different one.
He was not on this podcast.
Correct.
It was a different podcast, but it was talking about his business.
I think it's Bourbon Life is what it was.
Yeah,
but you should check it out.
You should definitely check it out.
You're getting this?
Well,
this is our barrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have bottles to sell?
Yeah.
I don't see them in my house.
Yeah, I know.
They're not here yet.
Not right now, but they'll be here soon. They're not even launched in Illinois yet.
Dibs.
So this is the first barrel pick in the state of Illinois.
This is extremely unique.
For dark arts.
This is amazing.
What I find so interesting about it is when you talk about sourced whiskey, which we've discussed in the past, it can be controversial. Some people think it's not as good as somebody that grows it themselves or distills it themselves. But this is from NGP, right?
Yes.
But he talked about on the podcast, he got to pick the mash bill. He didn't just say, give me what you give everybody.
Right.
He said, I want 70 this, 20 this, 10 that, or whatever.
Well, he asked for the right stuff.
Yeah.
And this is all because of
he aged
this
it.
is
his
very
connections.
unique.
He's got connections from Wilderness Trail, and that's how he knew. I mean, he literally sent me a message, and I'm sure it was the same message he sent all of his former barrel pick clients. Hey, I'm starting my own thing. If you're interested, blah blah blah. And that was. Like, I'm in. I'm a Macaulay fan. Like, I love Wilderness Trail, but man, if Macaulay's
he's got the tongue.
Yeah, he has the.
So what I'm noticing is the nose after you've had your first sip. So that second nose is just so powerful, so flavorful.
I mean, you can smell it down here. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
This is, and I think the way that this was set up is the way to do it. I think you need a couple others to compare it to.
Yeah.
Before you drink this one.
That's a very unique flavor profile, smell. Everything about this is probably different than anything I've tasted in a while.
To be honest, I told Rick earlier, the barrel finishing is so hit or miss with me personally.
Sure.
Some of them I love, and some of them are just not good at all.
Some of them are so subtle; it's hard to eat.
This is. Not only is it not subtle, but it's so good. Like it doesn't have anything not to like.
Right.
I don't know how better else to describe it.
Yeah, that's good.
Now this
So
makes
good.
me wish I paid attention when you were telling us about the barrel finish. What's the deal with this one?
Yeah, exactly. Go back to the barrel again.
No, wait a minute.
This is the Brazilian.
You'll have to
Right. Yeah.
listen
Okay.
to the.
No, I'm there. Yeah. The Brazilian.
This is the Brazilian Amburana.
Amburana.
The cigar blend.
It's very good.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say
forward
the
to
same
it.
thing. If you're in a liquor store and you see anything that says cigar batch, cigar blend, Amburana, that's going to be these kind of flavors.
Yeah.
So grab it. Penelope Rio is that.
What's the
like I said, Starlight has a cigar blend.
What's the proof on this?
I don't even know.
I don't even know if it matters.
I know it's barrel. It's going to be barrel proof.
I'm just wondering if it's 115 or above because it does
honestly don't know.
not taste.
Doesn't feel like it.
No.
Yeah.
What's the name when we see it? Dark Arts.
Dark
This is your
Arts,
barrel
so
pick,
the-
but like, is it a certain line or whatever?
Well,
It's just
it'll
their
probably
bourbon?
be the only dark arts that we have here.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if they had like
for a little while anyway. They're going to
they have
come
a
out
rye
with
or something,
so,
or they
so
have-
they're coming out with 3 of their what do you call standby or year round offerings or whatever. And one of them will be an Amburana. So if they can keep that in stock and keep it going, that should be available all the time.
Yeah, the Angels don't need this. Let's get that cap off.
No, I know. I want to take that. There's a little bit left in the bottle, and we're passing it back to Chris, and all of us are begrudgingly passing it along.
Well, this
I'm
bottle,
trying not to slip it in our pocket.
I've shared this full bottle with quite a few people, and I could probably get it to about
get a
3 more
little bit
people.
more.
But that's
I get a
and
sip every time too.
That's
so.
really good. Yeah.
that bottle is it's like a sampler. It's not an actual full bottle. So
when is your barrel pick coming roughly?
I don't know because it again they're not even launched in Illinois yet, so that's our barrel when they get off the ground and going.
Yeah.
They said it should be by the end of the year. So
this year, hopefully?
This year,
Yeah.
yeah, this year.
So to all the BWS members, when Dark Arts comes out, don't buy it. It's terrible.
It's awful. Don't take
this was
it.
a mistake.
Leave the bottles for someone else.
That I'm in.
That was really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab a couple extra bottles of this before
that's a good
it
one.
goes on sale.
It sounds silly because we're so overhyping this. Like we're just
I know.
No, we're
fawning
not.
over it.
No,
this
we're not.
is so good. This is legit.
We're not
So
overselling.
this
we're
one, I will say this one, and I forgot the name of what it was, but it was that
Amburana.
No, the birthday.
Old Forester.
Oh, the birthday bourbon.
Bourbon, yeah.
Oh, as far as like
Those
bourbons
are-
that you've tasted
those
on.
are my two favorites.
I agree.
Gotcha.
Those two stood out from everything
for sure.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, this won't disappoint. We're not overselling it. It's delicious.
No, yeah, that was the wrong word. It sounds like we're overselling it. We're not.
No,
It's
yeah,
so
this
good.
is for real.
It's
And like Kevin said, we reacted this way to the birthday bourbon
Yeah.
when that was
Oh,
brought
yeah.
in for us, and it was the same thing. It was like, this is noticeably better than anything else.
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is really good.
If I had to make an honest comparison to something that it's equivalent to, it'd be almost as good as water with my Thanksgiving meal.
Stop it. You know, you can't enjoy.
I almost got it out.
The candied yams taste
Thanksgiving
so
water.
much better with water than they do with wine.
Oh God, man!
I tried. I almost
I
made
was
it.
hoping that's where you were headed with that.
I was like,
I thought that what's the German word for bratwurst was bad, but
nope.
I will never live.
That's
Water
fantastic,
down,
too.
apparently. Oh, man.
Apparently. Yes, I drink water.
Right? You got to hydrate, folks. All
Yes.
right?
Well, I will
That was
say
excellent.
that this episode was far better for us than it was for anybody listening.
Probably. Yes. Probably.
Because these are some wonderful tastings. And you can get them all here except for the black,
The dark arts.
the dark arts.
Yeah.
It depends on when this
Coming
comes
soon,
out. And all
coming
that. Yeah.
soon.
if
right.
you had a bourbon calendar,
As of right now,
when would it be up and coming?
the calendar, it would not be
Man.
on the calendar.
So check the Facebook page.
Yes, it'll be all over Facebook.
Call in.
Use the telephone.
Stop in and see what's in the...
And
What's
one
in the bottle
takeaway
shop?
from this episode is that you can trust the barrel picks that come out of Stubborn German.
Oh, that's for darn sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are getting an excellent bottle when they come back with
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that is a great point, Jared. And I had a quick little thing we did today. Actually, we did so one of the distributors picked three different barrels of Remus, so George Remus bourbon, which is an MGP bourbon, and it's MGP's own brand. So like. Usually MGP stuff goes into other people's brands. Well, this they kept for themselves. So it's like supposedly like the best MGP stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's three different MGPs with three different mash bills, okay? So the first one we taste, and so the deal is we can buy as many cases of it as we want, just one or up to however many they have left. But it's for the whole state, and they just started selling these statewide yesterday, the day that I tasted it. So the first one we tasted was 75% corn, the highest corn. Corn is going to be grainy. It's going to be very sweet, lots and lots of sweet, right? And it was kind of just boring, really. It was like, okay, I could see, Joe Blow, new bourbon drinker, probably being into this, but I'm not. What else you got? So the middle one had, I don't know, a little less corn, a little more rye, so more spice. And it was like, oh, okay, we're on to something here. We're getting there, tasting good. Let's try the third one. That had the most rye and the least amount of corn. So it was very bold, big, oily texture, just a delicious bourbon. And I tasted it and I'm like, okay, give me a couple cases of that. That's amazing stuff. We'll take that. And I'm like, how much is available? Is there enough to get one or two cases? And he's like, yeah, 21 cases of that. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, how many are the middle one? 20 cases of that. Okay, cool. I'm like, just out of curiosity, the one I didn't like, how many are available of that? He's like, 5 cases left. They sold almost all that.
Yep.
I'm just like, holy crap, how someone picked those
Because people like what's familiar
boring,
to them, Yeah.
lame,
Or they
overly
drank
sweet.
them in the opposite order you did.
Maybe. But the point there is that a lot of these liquor stores and a lot of big box stores, when they go to do a barrel pick, if a lot of times they don't even go down there to pick them themselves. They'll just say, send me a barrel.
Exactly.
And when they do that, you're going to get the most basic, boring PG-13 barrel. It just,
Yeah, but they can still say it's a barrel pick exclusive
exactly,
and all that.
which it is. And same way, if they go down there, they're thinking, how am I going to sell this the fastest way possible and appeal to the most amount of people? That's not what I'm doing. I'm picking barrels. When we go, we pick bold barrels that bourbon nerds are going to just freaking love. So I don't know. If there's a takeaway out of this whole episode, it's that. When you see a barrel pick here, that's probably going to mean a more flavorful, bold bourbon.
Don't expect it to be bland.
Than the liquor store down the street or Walmart or Costco or whatever. So that's all I got to say about that.
Well, it's good, and I appreciate you
good.
doing that because this is good. It's that simple.
Well, you're welcome.
I need to get on that list.
Thank you.
And it really is a good deal. So you get on the Brownwater Society, you join, which gets you on their
Send us your
email
email
list
address,
and the Facebook list. You're going to get regular updates about what's coming. If there's a barrel pick opportunity, you can get on that and request to go down. You're going to get notifications, not even a barrel pick, just allocated picks, whatever. You get notified of that. You can come in
we have our
before they
meetings,
open.
too.
Yeah, the meetings where you're doing tasting. I mean, it's
And you
like
get
an amazing
zero
opportunity.
spam.
Zero
That's
spam.
true.
It's all. If you like bourbon info and stuff,
Yes.
If I see
That's
something
what you
from the
get.
BWS email, I'm reading it right away because I've missed out on a
Yeah.
couple picks.
Yeah.
Because I was busy at the moment. I'm like, I'll check it later. And I go back 2-3 hours later, and the bottle's gone. I'm
Gone
like,
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dang it.
I'd say we email once a month, and it's again, it's if you're into
Right.
bourbon, it's stuff you're interested in.
Sure.
Trust me.
yeah. You're going to read it when you see it.
yeah. So anyway,
Those
Cool.
were good,
Join
Chris.
up.
Thank you.
Yeah, really
yeah.
excellent. Excellent.
But you know what people are really interested in?
know what?
Is the German word of the day.
Oh, really?
That's all they tune in for.
Well,
Right.
yeah. If you remember, that was Grontler.
Oh, now
which,
I do.
Of course, Kevin says means a small vessel.
Okay.
Grontler.
You know what we should do just for fun? Now, not that we're changing our answers, but now that we had
Now
the
that we've
episode,
had 4 bottles of...
well, that too.
Now you want to go back? and-
No, now that we've had the episode, does anybody
Yeah,
think
right.
they figured it out?
Oh. Okay.
No.
Kevin, have you figured it out?
Grontler. No, I haven't.
Oh,
No.
no.
Grontler is a liquor distributor.
Not a deer
okay.
stand? We'll let you say both.
I'm sticking with deer stand, but I think it's a distributor.
Okay, liquor distributor or deer stand, Rick says. And Jared
I
says
don't remember what I said.
grain filled, which I don't even know how that makes any sense at all.
It doesn't.
So. Flavor
You know what? You know what
of
it is?
grain.
You know what it is?
Yeah,
it's
what?
a barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you do this before?
No,
It's a barrel.
Isn't a foss a barrel?
did I do that wrong? We have to rewrite German.
Okay, anyway, Grontler, in fact, does not mean small vessel or grain filled or deer stand or liquor distributor.
No.
It, in fact, means stubborn German.
What?
Yeah, it's like an old
Grontler?
curmudgeon is a Grontler. That's what. So
I feel
Okay.
duped.
I kind of
Crying
did
out
too.
loud.
my brother
It's a
and
bratwurst.
sister-in-law,
Yeah.
Corey and Alyssa, went to Germany. They went to Oktoberfest, and they just got back. And before the episode tonight, I texted and said, "Okay, you got a German word of the day for me?" I mean, I'm sure you do. And they right away like Grontler. It means
Grontler.
stubborn German.
Okay.
They said they were on a tour somewhere, and I guess they're talking about the brewery, and the guy said,
Hey,
"Stubborn
so-
German." That means that's Grontler.
You know what's so excellent
good
about that is, so the stubborn German guy's name is now Grant, but it's pronounced Grunt.
Grant.
Grant.
Oh,
Is
he's
it Gront or Grant?
It's A-N-T, but
that's Grant.
it'll be
no. We just named
Grant.
him Grant.
Yeah, it's Grant.
Yep, that's Grant.
You need a Grontler,
Perfect.
like a Grontler ale or a Grontler lager coming
for
up.
sure.
Oh, that's coming.
People can get a growler or a Grontler.
Now
There
you
you go.
have
A
two
growler, a
variations of the new stubborn German fitted caps. One with the logo, with the
One that
guy,
says
and one that says
Grontler.
Grant.
That's a good idea.
Grontler.
Yeah.
Grontler.
Grant.
Yeah.
Grant the Grontler.
He looks like a Grunt.
He sure
The
does.
Grontler.
Yeah,
I
pretty
like
much.
That's good.
Well, come into the Stubborn German Brewing Company. You can stare up at the logo guy, and you can see what we're talking about.
Grant?
You can meet Grant. He'll be here signing posters and stuff. Chris won't be signing
No,
anything.
I'll be at home.
He won't be here.
He'll be out
Unless it's podcast night. then I'll be
grumbling
here.
around on his own.
He's got barrel picks to do.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what? What an awesome episode! Thank you so much for allowing me to play along because it was delicious.
Very
and,
much.
I'm getting a lot of my holiday shopping done just thinking about all this because I'm buying myself a lot of booze.
Good news. You don't have to shop for me.
Right.
I bought what I
Very
want.
I got it covered. Well, this was great, and if you hung with us and appreciate this stuff, we're glad that you did because you can subscribe to more episodes of this. They'll show up right in your email box, nice and easy, wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to throw a high star rating if you'd like. We always appreciate that. We're not sure what they do, but everybody asks for them.
At least 7 stars. Come on.
If it's not 5 stars, we
At
don't
least
want it.
7.
Yeah.
That's right. And for Mr. Chris Ron, Jared Chasson, and Rick Kleinschmidt, I say,
It's not black, but it's close enough.
It'll fit right in.
Yeah.
yeah, this is really good.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, really.
Yeah, that's going to go over real well.
You better just not release it. We'll just.
Okay, we'll just drink it
Can it just be a
ourselves.
podcast
Yeah.
beer?
That's probably a good idea.
I almost drank my microphone.
Yes. It happens, see?